What do you think? What's your take on this, Simon? At last, they've signed up Cavani for another year. He's 34. Does it prove that age is just a number, class is permanent? What does it tell us?
Yeah, a bit of that. Well, they signed Ibrahimovic at a certain age, didn't they? I mean, I was in the camp, and I think my little mate Gary Neville was in the same camp, that when he signed Cavani, it looked like they were shopping in a particular section of the marketplace because it looked economical. It looked a bit panicky because they couldn't get Jadon Sancho across the line last year. But we've been proven wrong, and I think Neville said the same thing last night on Sky Sports, that he's proven to be what he was in our mind's eye. He is in reality a top quality forward, and I'm not sure that it will start a peddling of a narrative that it's an opportunity for the Glazers not to have to spend any money on big signings to be able to supplement United's playing squad when they've got this player signing, taking up the option, or they've taken up the option because I think it was already there to extend for another year. But I think he's been a fabulous player. You know, I compared it at the beginning of the season to the signing of Radamel Falcao, and I couldn't be more wrong, because he's proven to be at the very top end.
Yeah, he's lethal, isn't he?
He's lethal. He's a top quality centre forward. And it will be interesting to see what United do, because despite my protestations, and they remain the same way about the overall long-term success of the bigger picture for United, which is reclaiming the top of the Premier League position, Solskjaer is building a far better side than I'd given him credit for at the beginning of the season.
Wow.
And I think if he gets a centre forward...
Yeah.
No, listen, you can be obstreperous and just sit there and be a dog in a manger, or you can acknowledge the fact that the guy's doing relatively well. I still don't think he will overtake Guardiola and win the Premier League. I still don't think he'll overtake a fully functioning Klopp and win the Premier League, but time will tell, won't it?
Yeah.
But if they sign a centre-forward, a proper centre-forward, to go alongside Cavani, not a proper centre-forward, but another centre-forward, because United used to have an embarrassment of riches, didn't they? I mean, let's have it right. You know, Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, they managed to find a place for all of those players in the confines of their starting lineups or within the mix of a squad, and to be able to challenge and take it away from the Man Cities and Liverpools of the world. If Liverpool regain their poise, which I have little doubt they will, they're going to need to have a supplement, because I don't think Cavani is going to play 38 Premier League games.
For sure. I mean, it's interesting because Premier Leagues in the past have been quick to dismiss the value of age and experience. In come Chelsea, Thiago Silva, 36 years of age. Cavani, 34 years of age.
Well, have they?
Well, you mentioned that Ibrahimovic.
Well, Laurent Blanc was a big signing for United years ago. You know, Thiago's been signed by Chelsea. It depends upon the player, doesn't it? Ibrahimovic is signed by Manchester United. It depends upon the player that you're signing and where they are in their careers, and the honesty and integrity of certain players. You know, Premier League isn't like the Chinese league or the American league where you go over and get a payday.
No, I know, but you guys in the boardroom, your train of thought is players past or over 30 don't really hold any value.
No, that's not true. That depends upon if you're looking at a resale value of a player or if you're looking at achievements in real time. There's two functions you have. I've got to do what's in front of me, and what does it take to do that? And also I've got to cater for the bigger picture, which is maintain some value in players that I sign. So if you're signing an Ibrahimovic or if you're signing a Cavani and you're not paying a transfer fee, then you're not worried about residual values. You're not worried about the economics of, well, can I get my money back on this player? Because all you're doing is paying his wages.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I say all you're doing is paying his wages, because the wages will be astronomical. But if you haven't got the wages and a transfer fee, you've only got one thing to consider. I don't care what his economic value is, because I'm not looking to resell him. I care, is he going to be worth $300,000 a week for me over the next 12 months? At £15 million a year to be able to give me the amount of goals I want. And in this instance, yes, I don't think that's right, Jim.
No.
I think people look at it pragmatically.
I think it is good business as well, in that you know, Harry Kane will go for what Harry Kane goes for. So Erling Haaland. United, in the sense here of Cavani, have gone in a different direction, and he'll do for us.
No, but that's assuming that that's the only piece of business they're going to do. He's there in situ. It's difficult to argue. If anyone said, would you sign Edison Cavani now, of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League? There'd be an argument that they all might consider it. Maybe not Man City, but they all might say, well, look at what we've just seen from him this year. There's no reason to believe he can't do the same.
And also post-COVID.
And we've got United, we've got him, so we'll keep him, right? So what are we going to do next, right? And this idea that somehow someone is going to come out of the ether and spend 150 million quid on Haaland this season is laughable. It's laughable. They're not going to do it. And Harry Kane's going to get caught in a trap despite the uneducated peddling of the narrative that subsequently he's just going to find his way out of Tottenham because there's going to be a big queue of people. Yes, if Daniel's prepared to send Harry Kane for 60, 70 million quid, there'll be a queue of people, but he's not.
No chance.
He's not, and Harry Kane doesn't have the leverage. He doesn't have the leverage. He's got 3 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the leverage.
Do you think Raiola will negotiate with anyone who's not prepared 150 plus for Erling Haaland?
Well, look, if you said to Raiola, I'll give you 50 million quid if you can get him for 80 million quid, then he'd negotiate. But look, the bottom line is Dortmund have already made their position very clear, haven't they?
Yeah, true.
They've said 150 million quid, put aside the slug, right, and worry about that what we want. Dortmund, we want 150 million quid.
Right. The slug?
Yeah, Raiola.
Oh, dear. Right.
So with the best will in the world, we've got a situation where we control the player's registration and he can get in the mix if we want him to. If he goes and gets us £150 million net, then whoever wants to pay him on top of that is entirely up to them. But, you look at this situation with Cavani, because we're going a little bit off piece, and saying that is not the only piece of business that Man United will be doing. It's just sensible housekeeping, a really good player that's done really well for them. He's already factored into their finances in terms of their wage bill. Okay, what next do we need? And I know that they were answering the argument of Sancho. I'd like to see Mason Greenwood being continued with his development, because I actually think he's a better player than Sancho.
I love Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, me too.
Watched him recently. He was absolutely top drawer.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Later on this morning, as I said, we're going to speak to Fabrizio Romano, because he got the backstory to the Cavani signing at Manchester United, how it actually came to light, how it came about. Who are you going to hug on Monday? A lot of people seem to like playing a game on this one, Simon. Who would I like to hug? Who might I hug? Well, they're two different things. Who you'd like to hug and who you might end up hugging.
I don't want to hug anybody.
Well, I know you don't.
I'm not a hugging person.
But of course, there's a pile on at me already, because there's one and it's kicked it all off. Jim will be straight down to the London Stadium, where he will have the choice of hugging either Gold, Sullivan or Brady, or maybe all three. And as far as Jim hugging Alan Brazil anytime soon, it would take him Thursday and probably into Friday to get his arms round Alan Brazil.
I'll leave that one alone.
To hug him.
I'll leave that one alone.
Not wrong on that one. 11:15.